Be sure to have the following tools with you when setting up the machine: a screwdriver or drill with a number 2 Phillips head, a bubble level for leveling the machine, a Vennet wrench leveling tool, a pry bar, a crowbar or large screwdriver and hammer to split and remove the shipping skids, a box cutter or blade to cut open the packaging, and a receptacle tester.
Your machine was thoroughly inspected before leaving the factory, and the delivery carrier has accepted responsibility for this machine. It is very important that you inspect the exterior of all cartons for damage upon receipt from the freight line. Damage in transit, although infrequent, does happen. Nearly all damage in transit can be determined from a visual inspection of cartons. Look for any damage to the cardboard corners. The machines are shipped in clear plastic. Look for tears in the plastic and inspect them closely. Take photos of any external damage to packaging before removing it. If this visual inspection reveals nothing, then the machine has probably been received in good condition. If any carton is received in a damaged condition, it is very important that you follow these steps. First, note any damage on the freight line's delivery receipt. Specify where the damage is located. Take photos of the damage. Second, contact the factory at 800-247-1787 for additional instructions. Send photos of the damage to damage@wittern.com. Include serial number and tracking number of shipment. Again, please inspect all equipment thoroughly before signing for it and before the driver leaves. Any questions pertaining to damaged equipment should be referred to the factory.
You can find the keys to your machine in the coin return slot in the lower right area on the front of your machine. Unwrap the keys from the poly bag. Unlock the cabinet door here. Locate the power cord here on the back of the machine. Loosen these 4 Phillips screws to remove the cover and place it off to the side. Now take out the power cord. Make sure the power cord is securely and properly plugged into the machine here. During transit, the vibration can cause this to become unplugged. Now place the power cover back on here. The power cord goes out through the cover here. Attach the cord to the back of the machine here before plugging it into the wall. Your machine is shipped on wood skids that need to be removed. Remove 12 Phillips screws, 3 on each corner of the shipping cradle. You can then remove these wooden boards. Using a hammer and a large screwdriver or pry bar, split the skids by inserting the wedge into the provided separation slot and applying pressure to front or back. Then use the hammer to knock the wood away from the legs. Because of the weight of the machine, it may be helpful to slightly raise the machine or for someone to push on the side of the machine, as this will help take the pressure off as you separate the wood from the legs. You can then dispose of the wood boards and metal washers. After removing the skids and before leveling, make sure the legs have a ½ inch between the black part and the base of the leg. Raise the leg base by turning it counterclockwise. Do this for all the legs. The machine must be positioned at least 4 inches from the wall. This is very important for good airflow so the refrigeration unit can operate efficiently. These optional foam blocks can be helpful when positioning your machine. Be sure to mount them vertically and not horizontally. It's important to remember to make sure your machine power button is off before plugging the machine into the wall. Also, before plugging the power cord to the wall socket, the integrity of the main electrical supply must be checked for correct polarity, presence of a good ground, and the correct voltage. These checks should be repeated at 6-month intervals with routine safety electrical testing of the vendor itself. If the receptacle is not properly grounded or polarized, contact a licensed electrician to correctly polarize and/or ground the receptacle to ensure safe operation. For proper operation of any equipment utilizing electronically controlled components, the equipment should be placed on an isolated or dedicated noise-free circuit, properly polarized and grounded. Refer to the electrical specifications in your service manual to determine circuit amperage and protection.
Now plug in your machine.
To help ensure proper operation of your machine, it is critical the machine is level.
Make sure the level is on the cabinet and not the door. Make sure the machine is level front to back and side to side.
Place the level on the top of the cabinet. Raise the level until the bubble is in the middle so you know what side to raise or lower. Adjust the machine using an adjustable wrench or this leveling tool. Lower the machine by turning the leg clockwise and raise the machine by turning the leg counterclockwise. We recommend adjusting the machine in small increments and then checking the bubble level. When the machine is level, check to make sure all the legs are touching the ground. In this instance, this leg was adjusted and is holding more weight than the front leg. And on the right side, the front leg was adjusted, so this leg will need to be lowered.
To access service mode so you can set your prices, press this button on the control board to switch the machine to service mode. You will now see the number of motors the machine detects here on the display. Press 5 to enter pricing mode. You can choose to price the whole machine or an individual selection. Press 1 to price an individual item. Enter the selection number you want to price. Now enter the new price for the selection. Press pound to save. Press star to exit. Press 3 to set a price for all the items in the machine. Enter the new price. Press pound to save. Press star to exit. In order to receive cash and give out change, you will need to fill the machine's coin tubes. In service mode, press 1 to enter tube fill mode. Now enter coins into your machine. We recommend filling your machine with 30 of each coin. Make sure you can hear the refrigeration running and feel for cool air. Inside the door, you will find directions for your air filter. It is important to clean the air intake screen underneath the machine weekly for optimal system performance and longevity. Your frozen machine needs its own 20 amp electrical circuit. The machine must not be in direct sunlight. Ensure the door is aligned with the cabinet correctly and level all the way around. Prevent air leaks by making sure all the payment system harnesses are secure and cannot get trapped between door sealing surfaces. Initial machine refrigeration cooldown typically takes 4 hours. The machine will get down to 0 degrees Fahrenheit in a little over an hour, but to get down to -12 degrees Fahrenheit will take a couple more hours. At initial startup, the evaporator fan should not operate if the cabinet temperature between trays 1 and 2 is above 70 degrees Fahrenheit, or the evaporator is below 30 degrees Fahrenheit. The defrost cycle occurs every 8 hours. The heater is used to defrost, so do not be alarmed by the steam during the defrost cycle. Allow 30 minutes for the defrost cycle, which typically takes 15 minutes. The defrost cycle ends when the evaporator temperature reaches 50 degrees Fahrenheit. If the temperature sensor fails, the default operation is for the compressor to run continuously. It's important to note the delivery bin constrains the size of the product you can place in the machine. To keep products fresh, make sure they are frozen prior to loading.